it. Let the attack begin.
You're in the mix.
Good evening, radio listeners. You're listening to the Jordan Heller Show on WGBX. This is our last show of the year, and I have some really great things in store for us tonight. Here with me right now, live on the air, is some very special guests from New Berlin, Wisconsin. I have with me Emmett Wood and Szaniawski from New Berlin, and they are from the band Down to Earth. So how about you guys come introduce yourselves and tell us what you're all about?
Sure. Well, what's going on, Jordan Heller Show fans? This is Emmett Wood from D2E. I'm the drummer. And this is Szaniawski. I'm the band manager of D2E.
All right. So what kind of music do you guys play? How long have you been together? All that stuff. What are you all about?
Well, we're going into our 8th year here as a band. We started up as a group of middle schoolers. We started off just doing some classic rock covers. Everything from The Who, all the way to the Ramones. Yeah, the Rolling Stones, all that good stuff. And as we've sort of gotten better over the years, we've sort of built up a little local fan base out here, and now we've brought in a synth player and some cool stuff, and we're sort of switching to more of a sort of punk alternative kind of genre, that you see nowadays. It's sort of updating, to the modern age, and as a matter of fact, coming up now in a week, we're going to be starting a string of shows for this summer, so we're really looking forward to it.
Nice. So it sounds like you guys are starting to get out there in the music world. That must be really exciting for you all.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, the big thing with us is it's never really been about even so much how well we end up playing. It's more so just the experience and getting out there and just having a great time.
Oh, of course.
I mean, everything else falls into place as long as we can go out there, have fun, and just do what we want to do.
Yeah, that's what it's all about when it comes down to it.
Yep, definitely.
Yeah, so how did the band come together? Like, what made you guys form D2E?
Well, I can definitely speak to that. We were in 6th grade, actually, at a little school out in New Berlin called Elmwood Elementary, and it was myself and 2 other friends, and we were sort of what you would call nerds, I guess. We're having trouble making friends, and the best way we thought to do it would be to start a band. And we had a guitar player and a bass and singer, and we needed a drummer, so I picked it up and I learned the drums. And as we've been going on here, for a few years, the other 2 original guys, have since left. Some have gone away to college, pretty far away, and so we picked up some new guys now, and it's definitely a lot of work that goes into planning everything for the band, and it's definitely very time consuming, but I think speaking, having been in the band for 8 years now, I think it's been just a wonderful experience, and I look back and I'm glad I did it. It's been very rewarding to us, and it's definitely something that we're going to be doing, for the foreseeable future for years to come.
Wow, that's great. Sounds like you guys have a lot of dedication to your work.
We do, yeah. We never imagined we'd make a career out of it, but it's very fun, and we look at it a lot like being on a sports team. It's definitely a lot of work you have to put in up front, but the reward, like these string of shows we're going to be doing this summer, it definitely pays off.
Wow. Well, I think this is a good time to actually hear some music from Down to Earth. Here's the first song I'm going to play tonight. It's called Aeroplane, and I believe this is a cover of the Red Hot Chili Peppers song of the same name.
Yes, it is. It's off our newest album. It's a cover album called Halfway to Paradise. We released it April 1st, and personally, it's one of my favorites. All right.
Well, that sounded great, and so that was Aeroplane by Down to Earth, and so can you guys tell me about what made you want to write that song? Is that one of your favorites? Do you just like to listen to it all the time?
Yeah, we definitely when we put together this album, we definitely wanted to sort of include, some music that, we just generally listen to, outside of the band. And, I think when it comes to the covers and things that we choose, that sort of funk genre that the Red Hot Chili Peppers plays with, that's one of our favorites. And, a lot of, even going forward, I think a lot of the music we play, is sort of, it comes from that inspiration, of our favorite songs. And I think collectively, the Red Hot Chili Peppers is one of our biggest, one of our favorites. And,
oh, yeah.
Especially Aeroplane, too. It's just with, some of that funk and rock combo.
It's a lesser-known song, too, in a way. Like, most people don't think of the Peppers going back to that point as much as they do, like, now with the last album, with, like, Stadium Arcadium and whatnot. Like, that's what a lot of people in our age group, like, that's a lot more of what they realize. They don't realize, like, they've been a band since, like, the late 80s, early 90s. They've been around a long time.
Oh, yeah.
Yep, definitely.
Yeah, so other than the Red Hot Chili Peppers, what are some of your biggest influences when it comes to writing and performing music?
It's weird. We sort of, when it comes to, the music that we pick, I think, we sort of have a wide range. As I just alluded to a second ago, that sort of funk rock is one of our favorites. We also, are big fans of punk and early 2000s sort of punk. We look up to bands like, Blink-182 and more recently Angels and Airwaves, which is very similar. But, we hope that going forward, when you think of our band or fans of our band listen to us, you sort of get that combination of, the funk and the cool sort of feel, but also a little bit of that deeper, more emotional punk feeling.
Yeah, and that's, like, another thing, too. Like, we have some stuff that, like, it's almost like, more so just influential, like, not even stuff that we really choose to play. Like, I know Derek and I are both humongous Corey Taylor fans, and even Nick Magister, the guitar player, too. Like, our main genre is more so towards that, like, hard rock vibe. But in a way, like, we take, like, the lyrics that some of those famous guys from that scene have wrote, we just kind of, like, we feed off of that. Like, that's how we get, like, some of our ideas and, like, the ways we want to compose songs. Like, when we cover a song, we don't try and cover it just to sound exactly like it. We like to put our own touch into it. And when you can combine, like, hard rock feels with punk feels with, like, pretty much every type of music, when we can combine all that and put it into one, it's like we make our own genre, but it's not at the same time. I mean, that really opens up a lot of doors.
Wow. Yeah, well, I think we should play another song from you guys next. Let's play one of your new songs, Ready Made. So that was Ready Made, originally by the Red Hot Chili Peppers, now covered by Down to Earth. And if you're just tuning in again, I have Down to Earth with me in the studio right now. So I want to say hi to you guys again, and I want to thank you again for coming on my show. It's been a really good evening so far.
It has been. Thanks again for having us, Jordy, and to all the people listening out there and all you fans of the Jordan Heller Show. We are two members of D2E. I'm Emmett Wood, the drummer, and I'm here with Zach, our manager.
Yep, how's it going?
Yeah.
Good to have you, or good to talk to you again.
Yeah. Well, I want to ask you a couple other questions. We'll still get the show going on here. So, what was your best experience thus far performing on the stage?
That's a tough one. That is a tough one. Well, I think, for me personally, I think our favorite, performing experience, if you will, has always been, ironically, it's been close to home. In our hometown, we, for the past 3 or 4 summers now, we've sort of been branching out and, doing local, what you would call local tours, sort of a string of shows around southeastern Wisconsin. But every year they have a festival in our hometown of New Berlin called Malone Fest. It's named that because takes place in Malone Park in our city. And I think that's always been our favorite. It's as fun as it is to travel around and see new people and meet, win over new fans. I think it's always great to, come back to your hometown and where you're in front of your parents, your family, all your friends, your home crowd. I think that's been the most rewarding experience for us now. And we've been doing that for about 3 or 4 years now in a row, and we're set to go back this summer, and it's definitely been one of our favorites.
Wow, that sounds great. So I guess by now you've amassed a pretty good-sized fan base. So what do you guys do to reach out to all your fans?
Well, I can speak a little bit to that, and I know our manager can definitely speak to that. I think that's definitely been a challenge that we've had to sort of find our way through. Is how do we reach out to new fans? And in today's age where you listen to a song for 5 seconds on Spotify, and if you don't like it, you just move past it. And I think that's been tough for us as an up-and-coming band. But I think the biggest thing has been, and I know everyone says this, but it's definitely been the internet. We've in the last 2 years or so, we've been very active on our Facebook page, Twitter, on our website, which is D2Emusic.com. That's been the best way to reach out to existing fans and stay in touch with them, and also sort of acquire new fans. It can be meticulous, but it comes down to things like posting pictures from your shows, taking pictures with fans, not being afraid to reach out, and I think what are we up to now, Zach? On Twitter, we have
5,000 or so.
It's like about 5,000-6,000 followers.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's another thing, like, what I did last year, especially because we were all graduating high school, or at least most of us were at this point. And another thing I did, I just kind of went around to a bunch of my friends, too, and I was like, are any of you guys having grad parties? And I did stuff like that. I was like, do you want us to come play, like, at your house for that? And we actually had one of my favorite shows. We played with a couple of really good friends of mine. And, I mean, it was a bunch of friends that I knew, a bunch of their friends, a few friends that other people in the band knew. And, I mean, we just had a really good time, and because of that, like, we had a lot more people starting to ask about us and starting to try and figure out when we had other shows where they could come see us. I mean, even just doing local, personal little things like just people really can enhance, like, your fan base and really help you grow and expand.
Yeah, it's sort of that combination of, internet and word of mouth.
Wow. So do you guys have, like, merchandise and stuff, too, that your fans can buy?
We do, yes. If you go to our website, D2Emusic.com, that's D, the number 2, and then emusic.com, we have a menu along the top. You just click the D2E shop, and it takes you over to our online store. We have T-shirts, everything from, clothing and accessories, all the way to mouse pads, backpacks, everything like that. So.
Wow. So you're not just a band, you're starting to become multimedia moguls as well.
We try our best, Jordy. We try our best.
Yeah, well, I think this is about a good time to play another song of yours, Everything's Magic. And is this another cover, or is this an original song?
This is another cover. This is sort of the opposite spectrum that we were referring to earlier. This is by a band called Angels and Airwaves, which, they're sort of a newer, spacey kind of punk band, but it's very catchy, and it is one of our favorites on the album.
Well, we'll listen to that right now. Here's Everything is Magic, performed by Down to Earth. And you're listening to all this on The Jordan Heller Show on WGBX. That was Everything's Magic, originally by Angels and Airwaves, and performed by Down to Earth. Well, we're still in the studio here, and I'll still ask him a couple more questions. So, what kind of equipment do you guys use to record your music? Like, is there any specific brand of guitars or drums that you guys like to use?
Yeah, we recorded this album. Actually, we sort of fashioned our own home studio. And, I have your run-of-the-mill Tama drum set. And, we actually went out and, got some drum mics. And we recorded everything, all the instruments through a combination of just a mixer and running the instruments right through. And, then we went and edited it on Pro Tools with some help of, some people who are a little bit more tech-savvy than myself. But, it was, we recorded all the instruments actually right from my house. And, we have like a little rehearsal studio, and we just recorded it all. And then from there, edited a lot of the effects on just a computer.
And I can also say, too, I mean, some of the days we spent recording got really long, but, I mean, all in all, it was worth it. I know there was one time I went in there just to kind of help Derek set up because he's recording vocals and whatnot. And, I mean, I was so tired by the end of that. I ended up passing out on Emmett's bed. Like,
wow.
We had one of the recording booths we kind of uses in his closet. And I know Derek came out of the thing from recording, and I was just completely passed out, and I know they were making fun of me for that. But, I mean, it's a lot of work, especially recording from home, but it's really worth it. I mean, you save a lot of money, and, I mean, if you do it correctly, you can get pretty much the same sound. It just takes time.
Nice. But yeah, so trying to think of another question here. So I asked about what kind of tools you guys use to make your music and all that. So I understand that your album is available on iTunes, and how did you guys manage to do that? I mean, is your album available on a physical copy as well?
Yes, that was definitely one of the, as I alluded to earlier, some of the technological challenges we had to face. I think one of the best ways, the easiest ways for our fans and our friends to make listen to this album was through the digital distribution. And we actually went through a distribution agency in Milwaukee, the Afton International, and they sort of helped guided us through the process. Essentially how it works is, they uploaded our album to iTunes, Spotify, Amazon, your major music outlets, and it's also for sale now in Guitar Center locations around our area, southeastern Wisconsin, and they take a small percentage, and but it was definitely worth it for us, and this was the first time we had our music for sale in such major outlets, so it was definitely exciting the first day we first saw it there on the screen. So
wow, that's really great. So when you deal with iTunes and stuff, and getting your music out there, have you become kind of proficient in the business aspect of music as well?
I'm sorry, it was just a little bit hard to hear. Do you mind just repeating the question?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, so when you deal with, getting your music out there and having it distributed, do you guys kind of become proficient in the business aspect of selling your music as well?
We do, and I think that was, it took us a while to sort of learn the ins and outs because, as Zach mentioned earlier, in every aspect of being in a band, we are we're self-taught, essentially. So it took us a while, and as we come to realize, I think the biggest thing that we learned from all this is that, just how much competition is out there, and there are a lot of good up and coming bands who don't necessarily receive the recognition they deserve, and I think in order to do well monetarily and and otherwise as a band, I think you need to make yourself available online and make it easy for fans, to access it, because no matter how good of a product you produce or, how talented of a band you are, without, learning that whole business side of it, you're just not going to maximize, your potential.
Mm-hmm. And that's another thing, too, is I forget who said it, but they said if you make, competition and enemies in music, you've already lost. So that's another thing, we don't try and do anything to really, show up other people or really just try and seem better than everybody else. Everything we do is pretty much just for the sake of us having fun. And, I mean, it's never really been about the money as much as it's been just getting everything out there and just being able to be like, hey, look, we can do this too. But that's really all it is.
Yeah. So I understand most of the guys in the band, you two included, are in college. So do you guys find it difficult to keep in touch when all of you are in different colleges, or do you set time aside on the weekends to get together and write and record new material?
It is. Yeah, it's definitely been a small hoop for us to jump through. But yeah, we have. I am just finishing up the year at UWM Milwaukee, and our lead singer Derek is in school at UW Waukesha. Our guitarist goes to Whitewater, and the rest of the guys are in high school yet, just getting ready to graduate. But yeah, it is pretty tough, and I think we've tried to make it a point to be organized in how we do that, and we try to get everyone down to practice on the weekends, especially now with our local tour coming up. We've had to practice a lot more, and it can be tough, but I think we try to make the most of the time we do have to practice, and it definitely can be grueling, but I think we all realize that and understand that you have to put in the practice first, and that if we maximize the time that we do have to practice, that it'll pay off, and we'll sound a lot better when we get on stage.
Yeah, I'm sure all the time you have with yourself can help make you polish your skills with music and songwriting and such.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I guess my last question for you guys is, do you have any words of advice or words of wisdom for any other up-and-coming bands that are out there?
You know what? As a matter of fact, I think we do. In today's, I think, one thing that sort of bothers us, in today's society as far as music is concerned, is that there are so many outlets and avenues to sort of take shortcuts in music. Nowadays you can go on a Mac and, mix a song or make a remix or, a techno song in an hour. And, I think today, and we've noticed, especially, is that, young upstart rock and roll bands have become so few and far between. And I think people look at, forming a band as being, just a little bit too difficult, or they don't have the time. And I know we both can speak firsthand that it is so well worth it. It's been such a rewarding experience. And, none of us are, world-renowned musicians. Most of us are self-taught. And, I think if, you can just put in a little bit of the time, it pays off so much more than, just, making, songs on your computer. And it's been so rewarding to us. Even at an amateur level, this rock world, as you call it, has been so awesome to us, and we've loved every minute of it. And anyone looking to, start a band or, just play in the garage, we so strongly recommend it. It's become so forgotten in today's world, and it's been such a great ride, and we would recommend it to anyone, musician or not.
Yeah, and another thing, too, is, we've gone through a few personnel changes, and there's been times where, Emmett and I would get together and we'd be just talking, and we honestly had no idea how we were going to keep it going. Like, we were down to, me, Emmett, and we knew his brother was going to be on board with us. But other than that, we had no clue who we were going to be playing with or if we were even going to be able to continue doing it. But, I think where I'm trying to go with this is just never give up hope, and if you try and put in the effort, you can do this. It's a lot of effort and it's a lot of hard work, but it is so well worth it, because just putting in a little time can go a long way. And one contact, talking with one person can lead you to a whole kickstart. Like for us, I know we needed a singer this year. We talked to Derek, and Derek goes, "Oh yeah, definitely got to be down to do that." And he mentioned, he's like, "Do you guys have a guitar player right now?" And we're like, "No." He goes, "Oh, well, my buddy Nick plays guitar. He's really good. He took it up when I started to play guitar, and he just got so good at it." And we're like, "Well, perfect. We have a band again." It's just all the little things that you put together really just create that thing that we call music. That's all I can really say. Yeah.
Wow, really, really profound stuff there. Well, I have to say this was an incredible interview with you guys. I'm so glad that you were able to take the time off to call in and make this all possible. I really wish you guys the best of luck in everything you do. I hope you get the best of success in your future careers.
Thank you, and thanks for having us again, Jordy. And a quick message to anybody who's going to be coming down to Milwaukee this summer. If you go to our website, D2Emusic.com, it's called the Summer Fling Tour. And we're going to be hitting up a lot of areas. If you heard this interview, don't be afraid to come up to us. We'd love to hang out with you, and and definitely reach out. And it's very fun, and we hope everybody has a great summer.
Yeah, feel free to tweet at us too. I like Twitter. It's fun.
It is.
Yeah, and of course we'll try to get you guys up here in the near future as well. We'll
Definitely.
try to.
We would love that.
Yeah, we'll try to work our best with the stuff people at Green Bay as well. Well, I think that wraps up a really great interview tonight. Thank you so much, Emmett and Zach, for being on the show tonight. It's been really great talking to you guys.
Oh, it's been a pleasure, Jordy. Thanks again for having us.
Yeah. Well, that concludes that part of the show. Next up, we're going to play a little bit of U2. So here is One by U2, and I hope you enjoy this. This is all on the Jordan Heller Show on WGBX.